High-risk investment. Trading on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Market opinions. Any opinions, news, research, analyses, prices, or other information contained on this video is provided as general market commentary and does not constitute investment advice. Master the Markets will not accept liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation to any loss of profit, which may arise directly or indirectly from use of or reliance on such information.
Hi traders, welcome to our live trading workshop. Today it is still Nopan here, founder of Master the Markets Illitrace Conference and the Traders Open Day. Okay, so today we're going to be starting to take a look at some of the stock charts as well as how do we apply the stretch principle and look at some live potential trades coming up. Okay, I'm going to start off with our usual stretch principle strategy. Now, for those of you not familiar with it, who've not been following us from before, I would suggest is go to our YouTube. So there's a couple of places. So I'll update also the live positions, what we're going to be doing on our TradingView channel, Master the Markets 2010. Also, the other thing also is on our YouTube channel, really, really great wealth of information over here, youtube.com/Master the Markets, where, you know, everything I'm going to be talking about today is under the playlist under the stretch principle. Okay, so you can watch all those videos at your own free time, which will explain how we are taking a look at our position setting up. The other thing also, which I'll mention a bit later, in terms of open equity and the 3 stats, is 7 steps to CTP.com. Okay, so keep note of that. And then as we go along, I'll keep reminding you guys. Okay, so let's now go in with the charts and the chart analysis at the moment. In terms of cable at the moment, it's still on the daily chart. It's still uptrend phase 2 at the moment, top to bottom move on the daily. 4 hour, it's on the downside, right? The phase 2 is appearing as a downtrend, and also the same on the 1 hour. Okay, just got to be wary that it's moved quite a bit from its top, so there's a high possibility that it will resume back in its trend towards a phase 1. In terms of the stretch principle, it's taken out its lowest stretch today, right? So there's a higher probability that it will go towards the downside. But before I take a look at that, remember what I've said in the previous videos is that take a look at the concept and objective of your systems. What's the objective of this particular strategy? Is to capture the range. Okay, so if I were to take a look at that, let's take a look at this. So the range of this, yesterday 100, right? So today we're looking to capture about 80 pips in terms of its range. Yesterday's range was 100. So I'm reading it from here, right? The ATR. So when I move it to this bar, so that's about 100 pips. And today's bar, from one of the indicators that our clients have designed, I can see over here, the bar range is about 49. So you can see around there, the bar range for this bar is 49, okay? So we usually take about 80% of the ATR, so that's our objective. So this hasn't formed that yet. And the higher probability is towards the downside as of now, okay? So let me just quickly do that. So that's about 49, yes. It's retraced up a little bit. I'm just going to go and take a look at maybe earlier entries on this. Let's see on the 15-minute, has it confirmed it's high or not? So so this is a good point. So when this bar closes, if the top confirms, we can take a look at a possible entry. Okay, so we won't be entering it until we get an arrow on the top and a dot confirming that top over there on the 15-minute. That's one of the earlier entries. Once we get that, then we can get a stop loss on the top, right, of that bar. So let me go back into the 1 hour once more again. And then what we can then do is towards the target, isn't it? Right? So the target then, let me see. So 12, so this is the high of this, 13104 minus 80, right? Is what we are looking at. Okay, so 3104 minus the 80. So that will be 3024 is what I'm taking a look at. 3024. Okay, so this is when we're projecting the BRO to form. But before I take an entry on this, I want to wait for the 15-minute top to confirm according to our smart money framework, which the quants have given us the formulas for what a top and a bottom is. Okay, so until we get the dot and the arrow confirming that for the top, we won't be able to enter that trade. Okay, so I'll leave that on the 15-minute for now, but we got all the others in place. I'll quickly go on to the other ones. Euro dollar is again similar to the cable, and on the 1 hour, similar thing. What's happening also? Just take out the lower stretch just shortly. What was this one? Is 80%. So we're looking at about 48 pips over here. How much has it done? It's done about 30. So not really much. On the 15, has it confirmed its top? Let's see. Yes, it has around here. So if you had looked into this kind of similar trades, traders, what we could do is we can, let me just move that into here. We can delete those ones there. Let me see. Delete selected, and then the target for here. So what we can do, this is usually I use it for my trailing stop loss. I'll keep it there for now. Now, what we are looking at over here is if you did enter this based on this principle, then we are going to put our stop on that over there on the high when that confirmed, and then our target towards the 0.8 times 68, wasn't it? That was what we were looking at, weren't we? 0.8 times 68, 70. It's about 56 is what I'm looking at over here. So the high 1090, 10980 is what we are having. So let me do that. 10980 minus the 56 is what we are looking at. 10924 is what we are looking at. 1.0924. Okay. There we go. So that's what we're looking at in terms of our 56 pips over here. And in terms of our trailing, only when the bar closes, we can start to see if we do get a good place to trail. Okay, so that would be on euro dollar. Now I'll put that on the trading view as well, so you can see how the trade goes on to be. In terms of gold, do we have anything at the moment? Uptrend, and on the down towards the bottom, lower stretch taken out. So similar thing we can do over here as well. I'll leave you guys to look into that. I'm just thinking about also time to go through the stocks, which we have talked about as well. DAX, on the other hand, let me take a look at that. That's also uptrend phase 2. Something you can definitely take a look at, lower stretch being taken out. 15-minute, let me see what's going on. Perfect. This is one of our the strategies that we will look at. It's the right signal, so you can see the 15-minute is already confirmed, right? In terms of the high, yeah, just confirmed. So that's where we will be taking a look at in terms of entry, stop to be placed over there, right? We put on the red side. Lower stretch also taken out. And in terms of our target, where we will be taking a look at in terms of here, 242, 80% of 242, 0.8 times 242, That's 193. So let's just call it 193. Take it away from the high. 19135. 19135 minus the 193. Okay. Towards the range, right? Range capture is what we are looking at. That's the objective of this strategy. Remember, every strategy will have its own objectives. I'm just showing you one. On the stocks, I'll show you a different one, okay? So over here, 189.42 is what we are taking a look at over here. And 189.42. And then I'll put that in green. There we go. Right. So that is in place. Let me take a look at the S&P. There's another index. I think you guys can take a look at that on your own free time. The only thing is I'm not getting anything correlating with the trends on both time frames on most of them. So for this one for here, uptrend, and over here is also the phase one. We'll be taking a look at, even though it's taken that out, that's basically on the stops being taken on the lower stretch. So what we'll look at over here is if you did want to on a tight stop on the entry on the stop here towards the upside, what we will be looking at in terms of S&P, right? But sometimes we do take that out of caution because the lower stretch has been taken out, so we might reduce the risk on that, which I've talked about in the previous videos, right? Watch through our previous live trading workshop videos. All the live trading workshop videos can be found on our channel, youtube.com/master the markets. And what you can actually do, traders, is under the live or under our playlist, you will see all of our live trading workshops over here, all put into one place. Okay, you can also find it under live section as well, where you will see all the different ones that we have looked at. This was last week's one, right? Following smart money in real time part 2. Okay, so you can look at all of that on our channel. Right, so let me go back onto here. Let me just complete that on the stretch side of things. Brent oil, what are we taking a look at? So again, towards the downside is what it's pointing at. On the lower stretch, this one is on the upside. So we just got to be careful of that because we're taking it against the trend of the higher time frames. So maybe lower risk management on that. And then on the silver, on the other hand, we are getting on the upside. It's caught in between. If you take a look, neither of the stretch levels are taken out, right? Once either stretch is taken out, there's a higher probability for the bigger range from the open to form, and which is then what we look to capture towards the range, okay? Which is what is explained in the stretch principle videos, all right? Okay, good. So that's on the downside here. So I will, if it does take out the low side over here, then that would definitely be something that we will take a look at. I'm just going to take a look at the 15-minute very quickly. Yeah, towards the downside, that's happening. So that's a possibility if you do believe that high over there is going to hold. That's our stretch for today, and it's going to take that out. If you need a bit more confirmation, I would say take on the low of this point over here, okay? So I'll just put a blue line there. On the conservative side is what we are taking a look at, right? And in terms of the aggressive side, if you then combine that with volume as well, which I will overlay later on, then what we are then taking a look at is over here, and then the stop being for there, okay? So the stop, I'll put that over here, over there. Okay, so that's what we will be taking a look at in real time, and then you can do the necessary range calculations as well. Okay, right, now let's move on into the stocks realm, and let's also overlay the volume indicators on that. Let me take a quick look. So far we took a look at cable, right? On the 15-minute time frame towards the 1 hour range capture. You see the top hasn't confirmed. So this is how our smart money indicator what we got over here really helps us towards getting out of the chops, okay, and not losing money. So wait for that to confirm. Euro dollar, on the other hand, still towards the downside, what we taken a look at. And then the DAX was the other one that we took a look at as well, didn't we? Towards the downside as well. So 3 down, actually, we are looking at, okay? Let's see how that plays to be. The only thing is not correlating is the upside on the 1 hour, whereas on here, it's a top to bottom. Unless you want to capture a phase 1, then we will look to revert that towards the upside, okay? But for now, on the BRO is showing towards the downside. So on trades like this, usually when the time frames don't correlate, we usually take a lower risk rather than the usual 1%, okay? We can do on a 0.25 or whatsoever. Right, now let's move on swiftly to the stock charts over here. I'll start to take a look at Tesla and show you also another thing that we can do in terms of the another strategy with the open equity range capture. Okay, so let's take a look over here. This one we got on the daily, we got an uptrend phase 2, right? Let me just mark out the open for now. Okay, so let me do that. Let's see. Okay, so we got the open here on the Tesla. I'm just going to drop it down slowly. So we go on the 4 hour. Again, we got an uptrend phase 2 as well. So the trend is on the upside on both daily and the 4 hour. Yes. And then we're going to take a look at now the 1 hour. It's just that it's in a phase 2 on both. The turning point hasn't occurred yet. Let's see now on the 1 hour. Is it showing me signs that that bottom is going to hold? At the moment, this is a downtrend phase 1. Is this bottom going to hold, and is that bottom going to hold? So the 2 places I'll be taking a look at is this one here, right? And this one over here, okay? Are those 2 bottoms going to hold is what we are going to be taking a look at. And then I take a look at some of the volume confirmations, right? So we got a little bit of a volume spike over here above the relative volume. This has been designed by the Trade Guider team, which we work closely a lot with. And also over here, right? So around this place over here, when we're taking a look at, will this bottom 237.52 on the stocks, right? Chart on Tesla, will it hold or not is what we're asking. So if I put the perspective, but this is the power when you got the smart money framework, right? When you got the market structure planned out, this is what really comes to you clear. What trend is on any time frame? And is that bottom going to hold on that 1 hour to become a 4 hour bottom and then become a daily bottom? These are the kind of things that we talk about on the 7 steps to CTP, okay? So definitely go and watch this. This will help you in any strategy that you're doing. 7 steps to CTP.com, okay? Will definitely help you on whichever strategy that you're doing. Now, let me show you some stats on this as well. So what we are looking at is if that 1 hour, okay, towards the upside, what I'm taking a look at, let's see where the probability is today in terms of the stretch principles. The open, actually, let me just see. Let me put that in red for now. Right. We can analyze this a bit more closely. And then on the daily, remember these principles we teach you can be put onto anything, right? Stock charts, currencies, cryptos, doesn't matter because it's all the same. So now, in terms of the open price for today, just to take a look at in terms of stretch principle, what has happened. Let me drop down back to the 1 hour. Where has it moved to towards the majority? It's Today is towards the downside. The VSA is also saying towards the red dot is coming there. This is not very clear as of now because the daily and the 4-hour is saying towards the uptrend, right? But then the 1 hour is saying towards the downtrend. The first place where we can get some kind of confidence towards the upside and for that bottom to hold and for it to hold a bit more longer is I can drop it to 15 minutes, see what's going on there, see if we did get a bit more confirmation and a bit more story evolves over here. You know, like Gavin always talks about like a detective, right? So we had a bit of a test over here, a bit of spike out, come back in again, double bottom here. And then after that, you can see that that bottom held for a bit by a big spike over here. And then you can see it tested quite a few times, still holding it. I would say there's a strong argument for that bottom to hold, the 15-minute bottom at 240.41, right? For it then to become the 1 hour bottom, okay, which it has over here, right? At 240.41, this hasn't confirmed yet, 240.41, right? This hasn't confirmed yet to come the 1 hour bottom. So we'll see how that plays out to be. But in terms of the second bottom here, 237.52, let me check the 237.52 here. The 237.52 point actually came over here, as you can see. Did confirm it on the 1 hour straight away after that. Now, what we're going to see is from a daily perspective, you want to capture that towards the longer perspective, is that going to become a daily bottom or not? Now, as a simple strategy, which I spoke about on NinjaTrader, if you want to do a very simple one, what you can take a look at is once the 1 hour, okay, confirms its bottom here. Once the 1 hour confirms its bottom, so it hasn't confirmed yet, wait for a blue dot with our smart money indicator confirmation for the bottom here. Once that confirms, right, on a conservative entry, then what you can then do is take the close of that towards a correlation of higher time frame trends and use your open equity table on the stocks. And this is how I follow the smart money on the stocks, right? And you can go on to OE. I'll just use ATR for now. And what I will then do is I will then take a look at maybe if I want a high reliable strategy, high winning rate, I take a 0.3 ATR, what I'm looking at over here, and then correlate that. So if I got my ATR number here on the 0.3 ATR, that would be, let me just put the ATR indicator here. So if I did the ATR on here, that's about $2.08 at the moment. So 0.3, that would be about 60 cents, isn't it? Right? So 60 cents. So what I'm then taking a look, once the blue dot happens, I can then add, let's say 243, 244 it did it. So then I'll put my target at 244. 244, this is already 246. So 246, 80 cents, let's say, right? So that's what we will be taking a look at. If I want a very high reliable strategy where it will get there 80% of the time. This is a simple thing to do. So in this instance, what you do is you wait for the blue dot, right? By the smart money indicator, wait for also the VSA light to change as well towards green or gray, right? And then use this stats to hit your target, okay, on the 1 hour time frame. That's a simple way of doing it on one strategy. Remember, you can construct different types of strategies. The only thing here on the Tesla chart is that the trends are not correlating. Let's take a look at something which is all in alignment. Sometimes, as I always tell clients, is if certain charts or certain stocks not that clear, go to some other stock where the money will be much more easier to make out of. All right. So let me go on the NVIDIA right now. On the intraday perspective, what you can look at, you can also look at different ones for investment purposes. So you can see we also track all of that over here as well, in terms of where we buy NVIDIA and all of that. We look at certain patterns as well for investment purposes. Okay, so we get two types of clients. One is for trading intraday, as well as more longer term investors. So the principles what we teach you can be applied to anything. The other thing is in terms of the so we got an uptrend phase one. I think this one looks more cleaner in terms of all correlation, in terms of 4 hour as well, and then the 1 hour chart. So this is what I was telling you about traders, right? So you see, this is a perfect one. So when all time frames, you see the daily, 4 hour and 1 hour is all aligned in the phase one, right? What we can then do is whenever the blue dot appears, right, we can take an entry on the close, and then I can then position different targets on them. Okay, so on NVIDIA, you probably need to drop the ATR because 0.3 doesn't seem to be getting an 80% rate. If you want a very small target, usually in phase ones, usually we can take towards the 50% number. So one is 0.1 ATR even, it only does 60%, but because it's a phase one, I can go for the 50% number, 0.5 ATR, okay? So on the 0.5 ATR, if you were to do it, we had another signal on 2 places, right? 1 here and 2 here as well, right? So over here, what I would do is, on the close of that, so let me just do here, on the close at 122.20 cents, and then over here it's telling me it's, let me just put on here. So this is about $1.66 ATR level, right? Which is what you can see over here, sorry. Let me do that, right? So if I put my cursor on this one, $1.66. So over here, 0.5, that will be about $1.60 divided by 2 is about 80 cents, isn't it? 85. So what I would do is that 122.20, we would add 80 cents on it. So 123 that it goes up to, okay? In terms of that, let me just quickly do that. 80 cents, right? It's $1.73. Yeah, it's about 80 cents. Now, one thing I can see also in terms of the stats, I know what's going on because I know it looks very small in terms of 80 cents. What's going on also, we've got to keep aware that this stats table was taken out of 10 years of data, 14 years actually, right? But NVIDIA has done the biggest expansion in the last 3-4 years as well, okay? So we got to take that into consideration also. So what sometimes we can do also, we can reduce that number of years. Let me do that from 2022, when it's had the most number of expansion. And then I can do that. And then the click of a button, that will show me all the numbers very shortly. Now, the good thing is this was all designed by one of our clients who, just like you, came onto watching our YouTube videos, really got inspired, saw it's very systematic and methodological, then came on to study and learn from us and coded this entire thing on TradingView. That's why I can get it all on a click of a button. So you can see that now our numbers have changed. So our 50% number actually is about 1.3 ATR, okay? So even if I take a look at just one ATR at 122.20, I'm taking a look at, so let's just do one ATR, right? To keep it simple. 122.20, I'm taking a look at one ATR number, which will then come down to $1.66, isn't it? So let me just do that. Plus 1.66, okay? 123.86 is one of the targets I can look at, right? So let me do that. So this is one of the things you could have looked at in terms of this particular strategy, in terms of taking a 50% target number from the stats, right? And then you running it once the blue dot then comes, okay? So you have taken your profit out of that. This is only for one strategy. Other strategies, you can put bigger targets when all time frames correlate. Another signal came over here as well when the bottom got confirmed. Phase 1 again, we don't take this one, which was good because you eliminate that on the phase 2 side of things. So when that signal then came in on the second perspective, right, then we take it again. So again, what we then do is we repeat that, rinse and repeat. So we take that on the close over here, right, 131.63, and do that again, which is then on this ATR number, 164, which is very similar. And then we add 1.66 on top, 131.63, right? 131.63 plus 166, and we got 133.29, okay? 133.29 is what I'm taking a look at. Did it hit that? Not yet, okay? 133.29. Okay, you just hit that, yeah, just from the last hour, okay? That's what we look at. So this is another way what you can do in terms of following the smart money, in terms of the using both of this combination of price and volume, which is the Wyckoff method as well. Let me put the VSA light on here as well. You will see, sometimes the correlations are a bit more, much more simpler on certain instruments, okay? So that's when it gets much more clearer. So if you looked at this, NVIDIA was much more easier correlation than Tesla, which what you can see, right? Daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, all towards the uptrend phase 1. VSA light, also green, very simple. Volume also supporting it. When we get the 3 ticks, that's when we go forward with it. This is exactly what we did in live trading week as well. So this will keep happening again and again and recurring. Is how you know how to spot it, right? These are the kinds of things we talk about in 7 steps to CTP as well. I'll just take a look at one more. I'll take a look at maybe Amazon or Apple. I'll take a look at Apple. Apple at the moment, what is it happening here? So daily uptrend phase 2, maybe looking to capture the, it's not really correlating on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, is it correlating? Let's see. Downtrend phase 1, this is what I mean, right? So both of them are not correlating, but you can apply different strategies on that, but that will require more analysis. And that's on downtrend also over here in the phase 2, okay? Not really the best correlations over here, but you can do different strategies on that, which I do not have much time. But if you get all correlation, I think it's much more easier to follow the smart money and develop a small strategy based on that, okay? All of this, what I talked about in terms of open equity and all that, applying those stats, you can find it at 7 steps to CTP.com, okay? Highly recommend you guys to look at that because you can apply those principles on any strategy that you have. This is how we got invited to come and speak on NinjaTrader brokerage, which has got 1.5 million traders on the database. When we presented over there, we had 20,000 views just literally just in 1 month, 25,000 views. Also, another thing, also we get invited now to write the training programs for technical analysis as well. Okay, on a YouTube channel, you can see all of that. Where under the playlist, you can see where you see on the STA Talk, Society of Technical Analysis, where we got invited to come and speak over there. Right, traders, I think that's pretty much that from me. I'll leave you guys with that. I'll update that onto our TradingView channel as well. But highly recommend you guys to check 7 steps to CTP.com. All right, that's all from me on this live trading session video. And as we always say, till the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.